They were down on their knees saying, beat them as much as you want, but just return them to us tonight alive.
I am raising these questions to Indian Police Department, Indian Administrative Service officers, their friends and families.
The judiciary is completely turning a blind eye to every single piece of evidence that is screaming in front of their faces.
What's the whole purpose of such bravery awards if you are not brave enough to raise your voice at right now?
I think everybody needs to feel like this happened to their own family, because this extent of cruelty towards another human being is unheard of. There is no law in the constitution that is prepared to deal with this extent of a crime.
The whole purpose of this social media campaign, Justice for Jeyaraj and Beniks, is not to yield condolences or compensation for Mr. Jeyaraj's family alone. Every single family in this country have faced similar kind of ill treatment, physical torture, mental pressure, very often at least once in their lifetime with police.
One other friend had also said that we just hope 2 hours more, another hour more, 15 minutes more, and
yes,
it was midnight and no one had come out of that station, and the next morning they were already bloodied and the ordeal just continued.
And it kept going on. So these cops would go back home, they would eat their dinner, change into their night clothes, sleep well, wake up in the morning, brush their teeth, have their breakfast, come back and beat them to death. That's what they were doing systematically on every single day, which makes me wonder what kind of human beings they were.
During Black Lives Matter campaign in America, many police officers voluntarily raised their voice. They condemned their own colleagues' crime. By measuring with all international standards, what happened here is complete human rights discrimination. It's such a barbaric, cruel act. When are you going to raise voice, sir? What stops you, madam?
There is a sea of evidence. There are a lot of people willing to testify. There are 17 to 18 shopkeepers in the area who are willing to testify to every single detail that they're talking about.
This is again not a one-off incident. We've seen similar incidents of police brutality in Thoothukudi itself.
This is for me what I would call a peak incident. Hopefully it shouldn't, because if maximum justice is delivered in this case, then we can be happy and say that it was anecdotal and it happened this one time and it's never going to happen again. I do not trust the inquiry that's been commissioned. I think it's a cop-out. The High Court has just delegated it to a magistrate, and we know exactly what a magistrate did earlier also in this case, who's one of the accused and needs to be prosecuted as well. Magistrates at their level, more often than not, just blindly put signatures wherever the police tell them to and close the case. That is the biggest cop-out, and I have no faith in that procedure right now.
One of the close friends of Jeyaraj had told that during this coronavirus pandemic, the whole concept of social distancing has created issues. In fact, a person is not able to speak up because there's no open court. Inquiry is happening with the person standing 10 to 50 feet away from the magistrate.
If I was a magistrate and I was in a court and somebody was 50 feet or 100 feet away from me in that kind of a state of from the way the person is standing as a human being, I would be able to make out that there's something wrong, all right? So this entire excuse of during the pandemic, the magistrate can't see beyond 50 yards or 100 yards is bullshit.
How would you think it should be dealt with so that we get a conclusive, strict punishment?
Yes, the family needs to be protected from two sides, monetarily and judicially. So one, I'm pushing for all corporates across India or maybe even across the world to open up their wallets a little bit and contribute towards a fund of probably 20 crore, because I'm just adding a few more zeros to the piddly 20 lakhs that have been given to them. raise an amount of money which will enable the family to fight this legal case to whatever extent it needs to be fought, because it's a very spunky family. They've been very outspoken about what has happened to Jeyaraj and Phoenix, and I have no doubts about the fact that they will fight tooth and nail to see that justice is done to this. But they are lower middle class Tamil speaking family from Tuticorin. They're going to need all the support possible from the entire nation.
Even liquor shops, Tasmak shops in Tamil Nadu is equipped with CCTV surveillance. Don't you want to equip your workspace? When are you going to change police station as easily accessible and approachable for women, kids, transgenders, poor people, elderly people, physically challenged? We are not feeling secure whenever facing you, sir. We are feeling scared. Don't you want to change the scenario?
We talk about an elephant which was mistakenly injured for days together. We talk about how it broke our hearts and how people need to be arrested, and people were arrested and found not guilty, and we really took that case to whatever end possible in a very short period of time. We did that in a week. It also requires the influencers, the opinion leaders of society, the celebrities that exist to incessantly talk about this.
There are so many movies which glorified police officers as superheroes. Here it is, a real life chance for you to prove that you are a hero. Please raise your voice, sir. Please raise your voice, madam. Will you?